pandemic?
Well, for me, being that my whole business model was built on like residual income and getting money by the pool and sort of living in my own bubble, it was sort of perfect for me, And my thing was for people to be able to digest information from their phones in their house, which means I physically don't have to be in front of them. And all I really needed to do was have the ability to make content, which is what I've been practicing and been telling people for the last maybe 13, 14 years. So it actually pushed my business model forward, which is the reason why, it was like during the pandemic, I was able to come back stronger and more evolved while everybody's still trying to kind of get it together. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And the innovation in the app, in the relaunch of the app, before it was that all the content was originally made. We didn't outsource, and the variety of good content that we were making made by us. And now you can actually buy things from it while you're watching. So it's like having Netflix or Disney, and while you're inspired, you're able to actually purchase, and without leaving that environment or the experience. And then also there's books and music, live streaming, like all type of stuff.
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. And you are so right. This pandemic, it definitely was an opportunity for some people to thrive, and I mean, for all of us to thrive. But like you said, it's all about maximizing the moment. Okay. All right.
Dusko, shut up!
What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of The Conversation with Maria Bird. Today, we have with us a very special guest. He is a music mogul, fashion icon, influencer, director, producer, philanthropist, actor, designer, and father, just to name a few. Please help me welcome to the show my very special guest, Dame Dash. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. How you doing?
Doing amazing. It's an absolute honor to have you on the show with me today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. And so I wanted to ask you, before we get started, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm really happy. In this moment, I really believe that everything I was fighting for and all those dreams, they finally came true, and it was worth the fight. So I'm just actually enjoying that. I'm very into celebrating all my victories. I think that's important. And this is a victory that has been the most important, having a child with a woman I love and being able to wake up every day for the last 3.5 months with the woman I love and my child. And, really be in a nice, comfortable environment. It's been great.
Yes. Well, again, it's absolute honor to have you here with us today. And I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, the power of being a free thinker. And so to me, a free thinker is a person that can draw conclusion and generate thoughts and ideas without any bias from outside influence. A free thinker is a person that is not brainwashed by the culture or by any system or person, but instead can think with limitless possibilities from the peer pressure of trying to fit into any societal norm. And so I wanted to ask you, when did you become?
Yeah, I think I was always a free thinker. I think my mom taught me that, and my family, and the values of my thinkers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because again, when I read that definition, and I thought about you, I was like, yes, he is the epitome of what a free thinker is. And so, when I think about so many things that shape and mold us as individuals, when you ask a small child the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Unless that child has been exposed to limitless possibilities and being a free thinker, then their answer is either going to be influenced by either what they've been exposed to or be shot down by, being around the wrong person. How can we create a world that produces the next generation of free thinkers?
You have to lead by example. You know, free thinking has to be the normal. It has to be the cool. You know, not being a free thinker has to be corny. You know, and the purpose of controlling people's thoughts is to do this, just that, to control them. You know, to keep you from doing things that are going to make you better and make other people feel worse that are controlling you. So, I mean, I don't even know how the world can exist, or at least from my perspective, not being able to have free thought is like being in a physical jail. But also, you know, sometimes you don't even know you're not free. You're just taught that your normal is something that isn't normal. And because that's all you know, that becomes your narrative. And I think, that's where things have to change. That's the purpose of having a network. That's the purpose of having a streaming service. So these patterns, Rocky, would you come by though? But these patterns that are put in our face day to day, all day long, like a commercial, these messages that are intentionally put there to control us, to give us fear, if you're not a free thinker, you would think, I'm going to listen to these patterns. I'm going to listen to what everyone else is listening to. I'm going to become hypnotized by it. But if you're a free thinker, then you only do what feels right and logical. Here's my little baby.
Hi.
Here's Raquel.
Sorry, a little awkward. Hey.
Yes, but Dame, you are absolutely right, because for me, this hits home. I remember as a small child, someone asking me, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or what are some of, your dreams? And as I began to tell that person, they told me, oh, well, that's too much. Only one of your dreams is going to come true. So pick one, because only one is going to come true. And that cursed me in a sense for a little while. And it took me, later to understand that person wasn't a free thinker. They tried to box me into their expectations or their limitations. And so it's amazing how people would try to do that. They would try to lock you in to their limitations.
Well, yeah, that's insecurity. And, can't nobody tell you how to dream. That's a nightmare within itself. Or how many times you can dream and how many dreams are going to come true. That would just simply be a person I would not listen to off top. And if they're a person that has never made their own dreams come true, then they really can't tell me how to dream. But what I am noticing about people is they don't dream. And when they do, they dream very small. And, dreams don't cost $1. So why would you dream cheap? Your dreams should be scary to people. They should be things that people don't have, their dreams. And what you should do is identify your dream, and you're supposed to work on your dream so much that it becomes your job, and then it never feels like work. And that's what you should get paid for, something that you would only do for free. And that's basically what I chose. And that's why I'm really happy.
Yes. Wow. I mean, that's so inspirational. And there's so many people that are going to hear this are going to be, inspired by what you're saying. One of the things that really stood out to me that you just said, a lot of people don't dream.
Mm-mm. They don't know how. What people are taught to do is be scared, And sometimes we ask somebody what their dreams are, it's like to survive. And that's not a dream. Basically, that's what we're taught to think our dreams are. So we're even taught what to dream so that we're controlled, so we don't have so much expectation in life. You know what I mean?
That's the truth. I mean, because it's when I think about myself as a child, people used to ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I used to say, a cashier. Because, I didn't know any better, and I wish somebody would have corrected me, or, at least told me like, hey, you can be way more than that.
That would entail you being around someone that knew how to dream themselves. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And, I think that's amazing because, like you said, it can be shaped by your surroundings. It can be shaped by, your family. Like you said, if that person never accomplished their dreams, how are they going to encourage you to accomplish your dreams?
Exactly.
Yeah, and so this leads me into my next question. It's perfect because when I think about Superman, right? Superman's weakness was kryptonite. And so my next question was, what do you believe is the kryptonite or the weakness of a free thinker? Well, we already talked about one of them, negative people.
It's fear.
You know, what are some other things that you feel like is the kryptonite of
The number
a free
one
thinker?
The number one kryptonite is fear. It's just being scared. You know? Everyone always thinks about why they shouldn't do something as opposed to why they should. You know? So I think you just have to eliminate the fear and what you're really scared of. You know? And then you have to know what your dream is so you know what you want to live. You can't live somebody else's dream. You know what I'm saying? You know, dreams are subject.
That's powerful.
Yeah, dreams are subject to the individual. You know, just like everything else in life is. So, like, you know, when they want you to subscribe, when they want everyone to subscribe to one thing, again, that's for control. But, like, everyone's relationship with each other is different. It's just based on your agreement with that person. It's different. There's no set of rules for one relationship. You know what I mean? But it does seem like there's just a lot of rules out there. But it's all the control of the
Right.
master.
That's so amazing, you know, that you bring that out. You know, I wonder, like, how many of us are just dealing with fear and might not even be aware of it?
Yeah, it's a part of people's
You
lives.
know?
I mean, you're born to be scared of death, even though it's inevitable. The second you're born, you're taught that. Instead of being taught that there's something better, you're taught to be scared. And do anything you can not to get near there. But you're going to get near there regardless. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to feel it. You know, people you love, you lose them. So, you know, there's a lot of tragedies or things that happen in life that happen to everybody. So they can't really be tragedies. They happen to everybody. But in between the things you can't control, you really have to enjoy life and live it to the fullest with no fear. Because what are you scared of? Only thing I'm scared of is not living.
Ooh, that is so powerful. And, you know, I mean, I absolutely agree with you. That's the only thing that I'm afraid of, too. Like, not living or being so afraid of failing. I think that's a big one, too. People are afraid of failing. But if you never go for it, how are you going to know if you're going to succeed?
Exactly. That's the failure within itself, is not to play. You know? If you never know if you would have failed or won, that's a failure. If you're living your dream, that's the win. You know? The W is the fact you're doing what you want to do and what makes you happy.
That's it. It's all about, like you said, doing what your dream is, and that's what's going to make you happy. And, you know, this leads me to my next question because, you know, oftentimes free thinkers are labeled as conspiracy theorists, extremists, radicals. Why are some people afraid of free thinkers?
Because if you believe the free thinkers, then the people that are controlling you will not have a job anymore. So that's what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I'm telling you my life is beautiful because I'm independent, you know, and people have a business model of, you know, controlling people's minds, which is a form of slavery, then that means I'm going to let all their employees free. So, of course, they're going to have to make me look like I'm doing bad, so they don't want to be me. You know? So they want to be like, I want to play it safe over here and just be miserable. So, you know, they make happiness look like loneliness, and it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And see, that's amazing to me because sometimes without even realizing, like you said, we'll be controlled by, you know, stereotypes and statistics, and, you know, we'll allow the world and society to put us in this box. And, you know, sometimes when you talk to people and you ask them, you know, well, what was your dream? What was your long life dream? And they'll say, well, I wanted to play the guitar. And, you know, they're like an accountant. And it's nothing wrong with being an accountant. But at what point are you going to start, you know, taking guitar lessons? Like, at what point are you going to come out of your comfort zone? Do you think that has a large part to do with it, too? Like, people just not wanting to come out of their comfort zone.
Well, the only way to be great is to come out your comfort zone. It's the only way. It means, you know, if you want to do things better than you've done them before, then they have to be done different. You know, it means you have to work harder. That makes people uncomfortable. But unless you're uncomfortable, unless you're doing something that you've never done before, then what can you do that's great?
Right. What can you do that's great? if you don't step outside of that comfort zone, come outside of that box, you know. And when I think about that box that we oftentimes place ourselves in, you know, is directly connected to our experiences. How can people get free from, you know, their experiences so that they'll come out their box?
I think what people have to recognize is trauma that they're not aware of. And, you know, when your normal is something that is not normal to most, you don't know how it's affecting you. It's unconsciously making you act the way you act, you know? So you have to kind of figure out what it is that your normal is that's making it work, that's not so normal, that's damaging you, and you have to deal with that. You have to, you know, get dark a little before you get light. And that's what therapy is, you know? But a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't,
right.
like wanting to be free or being free means you have to want to be free. You know, being successful means you have to want to be successful. It means you want to fight. You want to enjoy that fight because you're fighting for what you love. And also, to me, successful is not only fighting for yourself. I mean, you have to know how to love yourself before you can love others. But really, at the end of the day, my most successful fight is fighting for him and my other children. Hey, Maria, Rocky! You know what I'm saying? So,
yes,
you know, it just makes sense to, number one, love others before you love yourself and make you a better boss, a better parent, you know, and understand exactly what love is. You know, if you're hustling for a two-seater car or one-bedroom apartment and you got children, you're a selfish fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know what you're saying. And, you know, you said a powerful word, trauma. Like, how many of us are dealing with those underlying issues and not even aware that this is the thing that is stopping us? Because sometimes we'll think, well, we'll deflect and we'll say, well, it's them, it's not me. You know, but it's like, no, at the end of the day, we have to look in the mirror and say, what's going on with me? You know, I had to do that because, you know, there's a lot of things that I endured as a child. And I had to realize, like, Maria, you've experienced some trauma. You know, and it's important to do the necessary steps in order to get free from that. I love how you mentioned counseling. Nothing wrong with it.
I mean, on my network and on Dame Dad Studios, I have a series called Healing is Gangster. And, you know, one of the issues with black people and therapy is black people don't get therapy. So the study of therapy doesn't come from us. It comes from the study of another culture. So when you finally do get therapy, people are speaking the wrong language. Same thing with education and a lot of other things. The thing that people have to recognize is there's always a goal. There's a goal. There's a war you want to win. But there's different paths to get there. And not everybody, you know, takes the same path. So it's figuring out which path is right for you to get to that goal. It's not what somebody else's, what path or what works for them. It's what path do you choose. But you can still get there.
Absolutely, you can still get there. And see, this is amazing, Dame. I just want to let you know you're helping somebody. Because when I think about what you just said, what came to me was jealousy, envy, and competition. A lot of times, the reason why we're not hitting, you know, our bullseye, the reason why we're not free thinkers is because we're so busy being jealous or competing with the next person. You know, but help us, Dame. Like, how can we really just stay in our own lane? Stop being jealous of other people.
Well, again, when you know your dream and you're on the path to get there, nothing distracts you from that. You're not worried about what somebody else is doing because you're having so much fun at what you're doing. But if you're hating your life, yeah, you're going to overcompensate by making somebody else's life look terrible because you hate your own, and you're not going to get anything done. So for me, it's like I'm too busy to be worried about other people. I'm having too much fun to be worried about other people. You know, I'm counting my own money, so why do I need to count somebody else's? You know, I have my own relationships, and I don't want any other relationships that anyone else has. So I'm not paying attention to theirs. You know what I'm saying? So if
Right.
you don't affect me, and if you don't evolve me, if you're not showing me how to have a better life, then you're wasting real estate in my brain. And I don't have so much real estate. I only can use 8 to 12% of it. And I'm not going to fill that up with dead weight.
Absolutely. That's such a powerful revelation that you just gave. And it reminded me about how another thing that, could be a free thinker's kryptonite is they need validation from other people.
Not a free thinker.
One thing that I found is that the higher you go, people may not give you that validation, or you may notice that some of the people that used to be supporting you, they're not supporting you anymore. What would you say to those individuals that realize, some people are falling off and they're being affected by it?
I mean, I'm just not a person that needs validation. I validate me, and I know what makes me happy, and I know when I gave 100. So I just think people are insecure. Like, why would I care about what someone that can't do or is not even trying to do what I do cares or thinks? If you're a spectator, don't tell me how to play. You better be a player if you're going to tell me how to play. You know what I'm saying? And you better be better than me.
Absolutely. Right. You're so right. It's amazing because, it's not until you begin to actually do something or take a step towards your dream that not everybody has an opinion about your dream. And it's important, especially for that free thinker, when you have a vision, you got to stay focused, and you can't let anybody, sway you or try to, like you said, tell you what you do, especially when they're a spectator.
Well, yeah, a free thinker has to be unapologetic and fearless,
Ooh.
So you're not really, you don't worry about what people think. That's when you're not a rock star anymore, you're a pop star.
I love it. I love how you put that just now. You have to be unapologetic because sometimes people have a way of making you feel guilty because you have a dream.
They don't have a way of making me feel guilty. Like, I like when my dreams make people quiver and shake. When I give you a dream, it's meant to give you doubt because it's something you can't do. Something that you can't dream. So I'm supposed to make you feel doubt. That means I've done my job.
Right. And so I wanted to say that, there's a famous saying that says the sky is the limit. But that's not really true because the truth is there is no limit. And so sayings like this cause many people to live by a lot of imaginary rules that do not exist. For example, some people believe that the key to success is getting a good education. But the truth is, you do not have to have a good, quote-unquote, education to be successful. How can people, and we've already talked about some of the ways, but, can you just continue to tell us a little bit more about breaking out of the prison in our lives?
Well, number one, the education is given to us, and we still use the same curriculums that slave owners had. We still follow the same laws that slave owners had. So, these laws and this education was meant to make us think we're free when we're not. Make us think that surviving is freedom. And that's damn near the same thing as slavery. It's room and board, and you're working for room and board. And, you have to understand that there's no rules to dream at all. And one of the reasons why, one of the things that's on my network, and I work with 90 black principals, the OSD, curated by Dennis McKeezy, and we actually talk about just that. How to change the curriculum, the things the Board of Education need to be aware of, and if they won't do it, we'll do it. And it comes from a place of principals, black ones, that are on the front lines, that are unapologetic about who they are. They don't shave their mustaches. They don't shave, they got afros and Jordans, but they out there helping. But those are the people that aren't showcased. So really we have to showcase more of those kinds of free thinkers or those kinds of people that are in the system but are still helping outside the box and make them our superheroes. And these are the people that we need to celebrate. Not people that are just trying to stay where they're at and stay famous, but people that are actually leveraging their celebrity to help other people. Because that's the purpose of it, is to teach and to help others. And that's when you're really winning.
Absolutely. And you did something that was really powerful. powerful because, I think about like the males in my family and how when they went to get certain jobs, one of the first things that they was approached with after, being hired was, we need you to shave your beard. We need you to, and I never really understood, like, what is the significance of all of that? Like, I don't understand the control in that way.
It's to make us look like them, to make us safer to them, and for them. Like when people give you rules, it's again because of insecurities, so that they know that they are controlling you and that you know that they are controlling you. And that's the reason. So you know your place. So yeah, you come in my house, you can't be yourself. So then I'm not going to actually ever come in your house unless I buy it and kick you the fuck out. And that's how I approach racism. So if I don't like the job you want to give me, I buy your business. Or I put you out of business. And then I hire you just so I can fire you. It's therapeutic for me. Like I've literally bought houses in South Carolina where I've had to be like, because, that innate entitlement and of racism, even if a black man has more money, they think they're richer than you because they white. And you have to be appreciative of the fact that you're allowed to buy something from them. Here's cash, go mow my lawn one more time and get the fuck out. That's exactly how I had to buy one of our last houses. A racist trying to tell me to apologize to him for giving him cash. Get out. It's my house now.
Absolutely. And I love how, you was unapologetic about it.
I'm paying. And why would I be apologetic about paying for some cash?
Right, absolutely. And just from you saying that, like you said, people will be intimidated because they can't control you. Good. Or they will be intimidated, like you said, because they didn't have anything to do with your success.
That's just called insecurity because they don't have the success you have. But it's not intimidated, it's just insecure, which is another form of intimidation. But what you always have to look out for is overcompensation. So when people act a certain way, then you already know they're feeling insecure about your power. And I always know that and can recognize that. So that's why when a man like me walks into a certain industry, I don't want your job. I'm taking your business. I become your competition until you work for me. And it's happened time and time again.
Wow. This is so good. Like, you really are just helping us just break out of the prison of our minds, and I love how you said it. I don't want your job. I'm taking over the business. Like, that's critical. That saying where it says, if you give a man a fish.
Slave is thinking you're saying something that's scaring the shit out of them because they've never been that. And they don't want that. They don't want to even offend master. So it's a completely different language. So you'll notice that sometimes you'll be speaking to people, they just don't get it. The reason why they're resistant is because they're speaking another language. And you have to understand that, recognize that. And I almost had to get therapy to really, really deal with it. And you know what I'm saying? So, you have to understand your self-worth and never let nobody take your light. Because they'll try to dim it because theirs is so dim. Energy is contagious. So if someone's depressed and feel bad about themselves, if that energy is bigger than your confident energy about who you are, then you'll become depressed and insecure about yourself. But if you walk in the room and your energy is strong, then everyone else will become stronger and know not to fuck with you or mess with you. Why? Because your energy is unpenetratable. And that's what your energy has to be. You can't touch this wall.
That's powerful. Can't touch it. And I love how you said it. It's really critical who you allow in your space, who you allow in your inner circle. Who are you telling your dreams to?
And the great part of what you're saying
like
is,
you said,
what you're saying is yours. So when you own something, when it's your house, when it's your business, you can curate the energy you want around you. But you can only do that when it's yours. But when you walk into somebody else's house, you can't be mad at the rules of their house. It's not yours. Just don't go in it. You can't be mad at the people they have in their house. Just leave. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a lot of time as a culture what we do. We be like, yo, I don't like the way they treating us in their house. Nigga, it's our house. Stop saying it's their house. Stop waiting for them to let us in the door. Build our own house and make a bigger door.
That's it. Come on. I absolutely love this because a lot of times we wait for other people to give us an opportunity. We wait for people to present to us a door, but we are the door.
Yeah. The only doors that I look at are the ones that I can knock down because I hear the locks when I'm coming. You know? This is more of a take situation these days. It's not a you give me. You know what I mean? And that's what people have to understand. You got to take your dream. You got to fight for your dream. You can't expect someone to give you a dream. The only thing they're going to give you is a nightmare. You know? So you have to either be food or you have to eat. And you have to figure out how to be on the right side of that.
That's it. I love it. And see, what I'm hearing as you speak is, the significance of being mentally tough, mentally strong. Because in life, we're going to face so many different things, things that would try to discourage us, derail us, distract us. But we have to, stay at an elevated place or, just stay focused. Because, again, so many things are going to try to distract us. But we have to be mentally tough. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, my method is just find the light in the dark. There's a yin and a yang in every situation. There's a bad and a good. It's just your choice to choose which side of that you want to be on. So anything that looks bad, I'm going to find what I'm going to learn from it and turn it into good. It might feel bad until it turns into good, so that means I got to get there faster. I'm not just going to sit there and worry about it. I'm going to do what I need to do so I can feel better. So again, a lot of change gives people anxiety because it's new. Just like death, you don't know what's on the other side. So even, when I tell my girl that we move into a bigger house, she still gets anxiety because she got to move, she got to pack up. There's still work to do. To evolve and to grow takes work, and that's what you have to embrace. But you're working so you can relax. And if you know what your dream is, if you know what your war is, those battles become learning experiences, not losses. And then you can relax once you win that war. But you got to know what war you're fighting. What are you really fighting for? Damn, that shit rhymed. I should have made a record of that.
But you know what? That's so powerful what you just said. What are you fighting for? What is your why? Like, we all have to establish that. Why are we doing what we're doing? Is it because we want to prove other people that they were wrong? Is it because it's truly our passion? Is it because we're pursuing legacy? What is it?
Well, it's about identifying your dream.
What would you say? Yes, sir.
It's about identifying what you would do for free and do it so good because it shouldn't feel like work. You love it. You're practicing every day. But do it so good that you get paid for it. And then understand you're not a professional unless it's paying your bills. It's a hobby until it pays your bills.
That's good. And see, this brings me to my next question because, it reminds me of limitless possibilities. What does that concept of limitless possibilities mean to you?
It means whatever I can imagine in my head, whatever I can visualize, I can make it happen. I know the power of my brain. Some people think they're superpowers. But I be telling people, all you have to do is visualize it. And if you could think about it for more than a minute and a half, it becomes a manifestation. But if you can't see it, how can somebody else? And if you have a dream that coincides with other people's dreams, if you find like-minded people, then you'll find that you can get to your dream quicker because you're all focusing the same energy on winning and visualizing the same W. So, it's hard to show somebody your dreams if you don't know them.
That's powerful. And see, when you said that, one of the revelations that I had to, just get for myself is that I have to create new memories. Because when you're talking about a vision, and if the only thing that you can visualize is what you've experienced or what you've been through, then the next thing becomes, how can I create new visions? Whether that is going and looking at homes or going to the car lot, actually sitting in the car, creating new memories. How important is that, would you say, when it comes to being a free thinker, creating new memories?
Well, to me, it's creating dreams. And I do a vision board, and everyone I work with and talk to does a vision board, and they have to actually put their dreams on that board. The things they're going to buy, and then exactly what they're going to do to buy it. You have to be able to visualize it, again, and remind yourself of it all day long. So my vision board, literally, if I walk into my bathroom, you'll see my vision board is right next to my toilet. I look at it every day. I'm not going to forget my dreams. I'm inspired by a lot of things, but I know there's a amount of time to do certain things. So I actually schedule my dreams and how I focus on them, and I move from one thing to the next based on when I'm finished. So it's also important to finish. You know what I mean? You got to finish. If you're going to make a product or you're going to start something, you got to finish. And sometimes you start something, you're inspired, and midway through it becomes difficult and you want to give up. That's the test. And that what makes you a boss and a professional is if you push through it. And you got to finish. The goal is, the win is when you finish. And then you monetize after you see what you got.
That's it. I absolutely love that. The goal is to finish what you started. Don't quit halfway. Don't get discouraged no matter what you're going through, but actually follow through all the way to the end. I wanted to ask you, how does being a free thinker, relate to ownership? And you mentioned some of it, but regarding, learning a trade or a skill set, how important is that for people regarding their financial freedom?
I mean, in this world, you have to make money to buy things and support, So you got to be really good at what you do. So to me, it's like, some people say I want to be in fashion but don't know exactly how fashion makes money. Or I want to be in music but don't understand that you only make your money from your show and your merch. And, what it takes to build catalog to leverage after they hit records after 20 years. So it's knowing your dream, getting really good at it, and then executing it, and just doing it all day long until you get there. So, if you have a job, you got 8 hours, you still got 16 more. You sleep 8, so then you got 8 to work on your dreams. But if you look at your phone and you touch the thing that says, how long have I been on the phone? And the shit says 9-10 hours a day, and your dreams ain't coming true, you letting algorithms distract you. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
You got to get your shit together. You got to get your life together.
Right. And, that's a great point. And I know that's wisdom for so many people because, like you said, we have a dream, we have goals, yet we're not doing what it takes to accomplishing them. Like you said, we're on social media, we're watching a lot of television, we're on the telephone. We're finding excuses to do everything but accomplish our dreams.
Exactly.
And I think it's important. Focus. Let's just talk about that for a moment, Dame. Let's talk about, focusing.
Focus is really important, and it's something that I have to learn to do almost every day. So I have to actually sit with my crew before I do anything and focus on what I need to do for the day and what we didn't do the prior day that we were supposed to do. And we have to focus and put timelines on things. And this is not my job. This is my dream. And I say that to everybody. I'm like, launching an app and a television network, that's a choice. It's not a job. It's a dream. But I put 8 hours of intense work in every day and invest every dollar that I have into that dream. And that's it. So I have to focus because I have to know that if something's not done by a certain time, then I have to actually reschedule everything else. Because I'm a wild animal, I'm a beast in the way that I have to eat the food I kill. I don't and never had a job. It's always been about what I made, And I got the type of people around me and ex-wives and baby mothers that if I don't come up with a certain amount, they try to get me arrested, whether I got it or not. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's the life I chose. So, focus is everything. But the reality of following through and knowing that if something didn't get done, certain things have to change, and making sure your team is very clear about what needs to be done and their responsibilities and the accountability if they don't do what they say they're going to do, how it affects the whole team. You know, all those things come into focus. Because if you're not focused on your shit, how can you expect anybody else to focus on your shit? If you can't lead by example, how do you expect things to get done for yourself?
That's it. That's it. And see, you brought up a epic point. It's about being a leader as well. Because, you know, when it comes to being a free thinker and you're not being controlled by societies and you're thinking outside of the box and you have this vision that you're going after, you really do have to be a leader, you know, not a follower. And that may be another reason why a lot of people are not accomplishing their dreams, is because they're following other people. You know, they're following other people's business, you know, models and different things like that. And you have to be so free in your mind that you don't have a point of reference. You know, like, you just going after that dream, and it's all about manifesting that thing that you saw. Can you talk about that? Like, when it comes to being a free thinker and a visionary, you know, what it takes, the leadership skills that it's going to take.
I mean, again, if you're supposed to be a boss, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to personally do it. And you can never expect someone around you, or you can't send somebody to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. You know? So, to me, there's just no other way when it comes to that. You're not like, to be an individual, to do something on your own, all of that, to be a free, those are all the elements of it. You're not a free thinker if you're apologetic and scared and you're following and you're letting people affect you. That is a sign that you're not a free thinker. So if you look in the mirror and you say, am I a free thinker? Do I worry about what people think? Am I doing what everyone else is doing? Am I letting fear stop me from pursuing my dreams? Then the answer is you're not a free thinker. And you have to be honest about that. You know, you can't have three of those elements and be missing one. Free means no worries at all. It means nothing bothers you. That's what free means. So some people want to be free thinkers. They know the concept of it. They even want to pretend to be. But they're still controlled. They're still affected. And their actions are still dictated by what other people are telling them to do. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen people pretend to be free thinkers until another opportunity opens the door where someone can tell them to do for a quick check. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again. Your freedom should never have a price. So don't be a free thinker up till a certain amount of money. So for a certain amount of money, you could be told what to do, then you're not a free thinker. Your thinking's for sale. You're a hooker thinker.
Come on.
You know?
That's so powerful what you said, because, you know, it's like,
So creative.
the higher we go, or the closer we get to accomplishing our vision and our goal, some people may not be ready for the temptations, or like you said, the different offers that'll come your way. They're not ready for the flattery. They're not ready for the Judases or the wolves in sheep's clothing. They're not ready for the betrayal. And so all of these things will throw them off. You know, how much would you say, like, that's a part of the process, encountering Judases?
It's 100% the process. If you ain't ready now, you will be after it gets done to you. So you could either brace your face and not get knocked out for it because you know what's coming, or you could act like you don't know and get knocked out completely. But it's all part of the game, you know? This life's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be a test. We're meant to evolve. And we evolve based on experience and how we react to them. So that's all it is. It's just a test. So if you react well to a certain situation, then you're ready for more. If you don't react well, then you're going to go backwards and come across the same test, but under a harder circumstance. So it's way easier to learn from other people's experiences if you're smart. But some people, for some reason, don't think it could happen to them, or think they can learn the easy way, and that's not learning. There is no such thing. If you don't listen.
See, I love what you're saying, and I know so many people are going to be helped by that because it's a part of the process. Betrayal is a part of the process. Losing friends is a part of the process.
It's all a test. It's just a test. So if you get betrayed, the test is to see, because somebody treated you poorly, will you treat other people poorly? But no matter how many times people try to betray me, I will not betray. You understand? And that's the test. How you going to act when somebody betrays you? Are you ready? How you going to act when somebody lies to you? Or when somebody robs you or steals from you? Or, all the things that come with life and business. The test, you're going to feel it no matter what. It's just, are you going to let it bother you? Are you going to let it affect your soul, spirit, and compromise? You're going to be offered that bag to sell your soul. The question is, how you going to react? Now, if you take that bag will become short and won't be a bag no more. And then you're going to have to deal with life under the worst circumstance. And then you're going to realize that bag didn't make you happy. And then you have to understand what wealth is. Wealth is happiness. Love is happiness. And that's wealth. Love is wealth. And fighting for who you love. And making the people that you love happy and enjoying their company. Money is not love. Love is love.
Come on. Now, see, you better talk to us up in here because, we should not be able to be bought. But how many times have we come to that crossroads and allowed ourselves to be bought, or allowed ourselves to turn the other cheek when we know we should have spoke up, when we know we should have said something? But like you said, you cannot sell your soul.
It's just a test to see if you will sell your soul. Everyone gets the opportunity just to see if they'll do it.
Wow. See, that's powerful to me. And to me, what it's saying is, stay pure, or stay, don't let anybody change your character. If you love people, continue to love people, no matter who hates you. If you're a giver and you give back and, somebody manipulates that, don't let it stop you from being a giver. Like you said, it's just a test. Learn from the lesson, but don't let it change you. I think so many people are bitter. So many people are hurt. So many people are angry because they was betrayed.
Yeah, but how many of those people that are angry about it have actually betrayed? Like, if you were betrayed, you can't get mad when you get betrayed. It's like, if you're a funny guy and you tease people, you can't get mad when you get teased. You're a fighter, you punch people, you can't get mad when you get hit. But, those be the biggest crybabies. It's funny, the comedians I know that aren't my friends anymore because I cut them up and they do this shit for a living. It's funny when you laugh at me, but it ain't funny when I laugh at you.
Come on.
Usually the things that you see in people you don't like, they're relatable to you because those are the very things that you see in yourself. So every time I have a comment on other people, I always have to take it back and look and say, I got to make sure that the thing I hate that they're doing, that I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find that a lot of what you hate, you do. So don't become that.
See, I love this because this is freeing a lot of people, and it's freeing me. It's important to not be a hypocrite. It's important, like you said, to make sure that that thing that we don't like in that other person, that we're not doing it ourselves. Because we can be toxic and don't even realize it. Don't even realize it. And this was coming in my spirit. Self-sabotage. A lot of times, we will sabotage ourselves.
I mean, we always sabotage ourselves. We fail that test. It's always a test.
It's always a test.
It's always a test.
And I love how you really, it's about self-reflection. Because what I'm hearing is, it's not really about the outside. It's really about the inside. It's about like me, like what's going on in me? What's going on in my mind? You know, am I focused? Am I centered? Am I, willing to do what it takes in order to accomplish that dream or that goal? People have to don't really worry about so much what's the outside, but it's all about the inside.
Yeah.
How much would you say? Yes, sir.
I'm listening to you.
Yes, sir. I was just going to say, how much would we say that, discipline regarding, let's say, exercise? Because we talked about the significance of having that mental health. Well, let's talk about, the body. How significant is that regarding accomplishing your goal and being a free thinker, your physical health?
I mean, if you're not healthy, it don't matter how much money you got. You're not happy. And, that's one of the programs, health is wealth. That's the ultimate wealth. You can't enjoy money if you're sick. And you also have to understand, just because you're working on your outside, you got to make sure your organs are good. That got to get worked out correctly as well. So, even understanding how we're controlled by meat and how that kills us. Number one cause of diabetes, cancer, and heart disease is meat. But yet we eat it all day long. It's advertised to us all day long. GMO, non-organic things. That's why the life expectancy keeps going down. The reason why black people get hit so hard with COVID is because the immune system's not right. Food they're eating over and over again is not good for your organs. So I have conversations with some of my strong friends that are still drinking Pepsis and going to fucking Popeyes. And I'm like, you're mad strong, but you're wheezing. You know what I'm saying? And, you drive an expensive car, but you put cheap food in your body. You got diamonds on your neck, but you're eating the same food as a dope fiend. So, why do people spend so much money on things that people see, but what really is motivating or what's really keeping you going is the shit that you don't see, your organs. It's like out of sight, out of mind. But being healthy is important. And leading by example, being healthy is important. So that's exactly why I showcase my lifestyle and the fact that it can look cool and aspirational to be healthy. So, if you want to floss and go to a restaurant, it's actually aspirational to go to a vegan one. And, it's cooler. And, it's just as good. So
Just
health is
as
everything.
good.
And you got to work out. So, make sure.
Talk about this.
Well, I make sure I run a mile every day and hit the bag. And because I think I do that, everyone that works with me, before they come in, they work out. You can't expect people to be fit and look good and represent your brand well if you don't. And, if you're the boss, they're only going to give as much as you do. Or you have to give at least as much as I do. You know what I mean? So if I'm up there busting my ass, even it was the reason why I made a rock record, my own, band, Black Guns. Because other younger artists were like, yo, I want to know how to be a star. And I was like, well, you got to rehearse, you got to do this. And because of the fact that I did it, because just from showing them I was doing it, if I could get up here and rehearse, if I could get up here and use a live band, I'm already a legend. I'm 50. You can do this. You better do it and do it better. Hard. Don't tell me it's too hard. I'm doing it. So if you do it, then nobody can't tell you that it can't be done. I did it. I'm doing it. I'm older than you. I'm paying. You understand what I'm saying? So you always have to lead by example. So working out, don't put too much cologne on, eating good, treating people well, not robbing people, just being fair. If you do that, then you can expect it. But what does sometimes happen is you give so much respect that when someone doesn't, it can really trigger you. You know? And those are the people that you have to cut like an octopus leg.
That's it. That's it. And I love that wisdom nugget that you have given all of us, you know, when it comes to accomplishing our vision and our goals and having self-discipline. That includes exercise and eating right. Because like you said, you're not going to be happy if you're sick. So that's so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And, you know, when I think about everything, when I think about, you mentioned it earlier, the creation of Dame Dash Studios app, you know, can you just tell us a little bit about it, you know, and how the process of being a free thinker has impacted that?
And Nicolette, well, again, everyone's doing that. You know, everyone has a streaming service. And what made mine different was I was doing original programming. I wasn't outsourcing. But can you put the, would it be allowed to put the app on the screen in the back? If it is, don't worry about it. All right, do that. And the difference when I relaunched is that you can buy things from it. So imagine being on Netflix watching a movie and you could buy whatever ancillary thing they have. There's like an ashtray or a sweatshirt or an album. If you hear the music, you can buy it. If you see the clothes, you can buy it. If you see the food, you can buy it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the innovation there. And like I said, you know, logically you would think they would be doing this, Disney and Netflix. But if they weren't then, they probably will now. So, you know, instead of trying to fit into an industry, I'm going to create my own. And it makes sense for people to be able to shop from their house. Because if you're planning a business moving forward and the business isn't pandemic proof, then you're a moron. You always, moving forward in the new world, when you plan a business, one of the things you have to make sure is that if people have to stay in the house again for a year and a half, that you're all right. That it's not going to put you out of business. So you can't really be determining or dependent on people physically being in front of you, which is not a bad thing. People now want to buy stuff from the house. I haven't been to the supermarket since the pandemic started. And I order. Amazon, all that. So it makes sense for the new retail to be in your pocket while you're looking, or on the screen while you're looking at the content. And it also plays 24 hours. And like I said, March 1st, I launched terrestrial television. You should really go to Dame Dash Studios just to check it out. You know, just to see what that's like. And, you know, most people now are getting white labels. They just outsource it and they just put their plug and play. And the reason why is because, you know, it's maintenance when you build your own app. Shit be breaking. But when you're doing something new, sometimes you got to do it yourself and deal with that. It's worth it. So, you know, I said, fuck Vimeo. I didn't like the way they would treat me anyway. And we said we do it ourselves and come out with these features that no one else has. So, you know, you can get books, magazines, music, all of that. All of that.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And, you know, I wanted to ask you, how does someone like myself become a part of Dame Dash Studios? What's the process?
I mean, you have to be really good at what you do. You follow me with this? You got to be really good at what you do. You probably got to know somebody that knows me, or you got to know me. And if I'm inspired, we're going to get money. You know, we'll make something and create something. You know, I have all the resources. You know, here, look, check it out. See Dame Dash Studios?
Yes, I love it.
You know, so that plays 24 hours. And then, you know, it goes, I guess I could have showed it to you, but Nicolette walked off. It's all right. But yeah, that's, you know, that's the app. But like I said, we launched VTV in March 1st. Hopefully I'll be ready March 1st. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know, this has been absolutely. I mean, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule again just to be with us. And I wanted just to give you a moment just to have, the last word. Can you take about 2 minutes to encourage someone that's listening?
Well, number one, you have to make sure, like I said, you got a dream. You have to find what you love and figure out how you could do it all day until you make money from it. And you can't expect your dreams to come to you. You really got to fight for them. And you got to know that all the obstacles is a test. That's what the difference is of being an amateur and a professional, is how you react to those kind of things. And then it's really important that, you love others. You're really hustling. Like within your dream, it should be to take care of somebody, to make sure that somebody you love doesn't have to go through the same stuff that you had to go through, and that's very important. And understanding that your energy is contagious and other people's energy is contagious. So, sometimes not hanging around people when you're in a certain frame of mind, when you're focused on something, it's not a bad thing. And you always have to be very clear about your boundaries. So, not everybody has to have the right boundaries, but if you sign on to them, then you have to respect them. At least you know what you're working with. And if somebody violates your clear boundaries, then you know not to move forward with them, because they knew your boundaries and they're crossing them based on what they want to do, not what you want to do in your environment. And sometimes you got to cut people, man. Just like a professional team, you have friends, but if they're not good enough to take you to the chip, they're not going to take that slot. You want to fill that slot with people that can do what you need to get done to get where you need to go. And you can't assume that someone's going to do exactly what you say. You got to double check. So even when you pay somebody to do something, it doesn't mean it's going to get done. It doesn't mean it's going to get done right. It means you have to make sure they do it exactly the way you want it done. And you have to be resilient. It's always the darkest before it's dawn. So if any money comes quick, it's temporary. Don't trust it. So, you have to work hard. Understand you're going to have to sustain some pain. And just push through it. Breathe easy. And enjoy yourself, because you're working on something you love anyway. And don't worry. Fear cannot be in the equation at all. If you're scared, you're not ready. So kick that to the curb first. No fear. If you have fear, you're not ready. And, I just leave it at that. And these are the ideals and all the programming. All of that is on Dame Dash Studio. All of it.
Yes, wow. Well, this has been absolutely amazing. Again, I want to thank my very special guest, Dame Dash, for being on the show today. I have absolutely love to have you again sometime.
Well, I'll be making announcements a whole lot. So not only now am I promoting the network, I got to promote all the content on it. So there'll be new movies they'll be promoting, and there'll be new documentaries and new magazines and new albums. So there'll be reasons for me to come through. But, I'm never going to come through unless I really have something that's going to help, or something innovative, or at least something to sell. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Wow. Well, again, thanks so much. And this has been absolutely amazing, and we're going to wrap it up. I want you guys to make sure that you tune in to the next edition of The Conversation with Maria Bird.
Thank you.